Marking Ronaldinho was the hardest job in football. 1 second is behind you, the next second is scoring a goal. One day, in the El Clasico, I decided to punish him. I kept on telling him about his girlfriend. Every time he was close to me, I would ask him how she's doing. At the 78th minute, he told me that his girlfriend had asked him to score 2 goals as her birthday present. When the game was at the 87th minute, he had already scored 2 goals and 1 assist, and he told me, "You have failed again. It is game on." Word of a Brazilian left back Roberto Carlos telling us how it felt marking his teammate in Brazil, Ronaldinho. And Sport Bishop is smiling. He said, "These guys, they just know how to party on and off the field." A fantastic Wednesday afternoon to you and yours. It's been cold and wet in the nation's capital. And the sport team of a Voice of the People, 96.1 FM Abuja, we are set to warm you up sportically. My name is Franklin Imona, the one you know as Fine Boy, the sport chef, because I know how to serve it hot and spicy straight from the nation's capital and beyond. Welcome to Sport Lounge, and I've got my partner together with me, and he is
the Sport Bishop, the Sport Magistrate, the Sport Pilot, the Sport Perfect, the Professor, none so Rain Zaichi. I tell you, the next 1 hour will be exciting, pulsating, interactive, fun-filled, and sporty packed. We'll give you all the latest from the UEFA Champions League. We're up to speed as well from the MPFL. We hear Aimba is crying blue blood, and of course, the Federation Cup across Madrid. And don't forgetting the latest transfer market, transfer news, update from the Madrid Open, and of course, we'll bring you latest from the NBA.
And just like the sport dates say, there are games that are currently ongoing in the Federations Cup. If I'm not mistaken, we will keep you up to speed with that one. At least before we step out of the studio, we should connect you to the match venue, as well as what Thomas Tuchel said about Kim Min-jae following his abysmal performance in the game last night. But someone said if it were a certain Eric Ten Hag telling Jadon Sancho, "You didn't play well," Jadon Sancho would have gone to Instagram, would have contacted his PA in the X handle, he would have gone to Facebook and lament, and the British journalist would say, "Yes, Eric Ten Hag, you should be fired. You do not know your job." If time permits us, Sport Bishop, we should touch down the NBA.
Absolutely.
And of course, let our listeners know what's going on in the world of tennis. All right, just so you know, we are streaming as well live on our YouTube channel. Do well to rush to our YouTube page. The address is Voice of the People 96.1 Abuja. That is VOP 961 Abuja. And when you find it, do well to like, share, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And where you do, still do us one more favor. Click on that bell symbol, that is the notification bell, so that whenever the sport show is on, as well as every other show on VOP 96.1 Abuja, you will be notified and you will be baptized, confirmed, and Christian into the VOP family.
Absolutely. Also, you can also listen to us anywhere in the world. We are live on Radio Garden, that's Voice of the People, 96.1 Abuja, and you hear us anywhere you are in the world.
All right, let's get the show started. Already no time, but we move straight to the local scene. All right, from the local scene, let's start with badminton before we get to the king of football, as we hear that the Badminton Federation of Nigeria, the BFN, in conjunction with its partner Community Shield, Community Sports, I beg your pardon, and Educational Development CSED initiative, have organized a 3-day shuttle time teachers course in Makodi, Benue State. The course will run from the 25th down to the course, rather ran from the 25th down to the 27th of April 2024. We hear that 24 teachers and games masters as well as a mistress participated in the course that involved 18 schools and 75 students. This one has come to an end, but of course it is nice that we'll let you know as some of the participants have really shown appreciation to the Badminton Federation concerning this one that went down sometimes last week. Last week over the weekend, Sport Bishop.
Exactly, a good one for the Badminton Federation of Nigeria. They have ensured that all the teams preparing for this one have been taking care of the coaches, the players, and you see this is how the game grows. You learn and relearn. And then you're sure that
learn.
Come on, you don't learn. You really learn. Anyway, what you tend to do is just ensure that you're up to speed with the guidelines, the laws that the games has in other climes in the world. We know the laws of the game changes every other day of the week, and the only way you can get your referees, your coaches, your players up to speed is by proper courses like this. So kudos to the Badminton Federation of Nigeria. Kudos to them as well. At least this is what we want to hear. Very important that we get basketball and badminton, I beg your pardon, where it ought to be. We've got some good players. We talked about Bolaji at some point in para badminton and how well she's doing for Nigeria. And it tells us that the sport only has one way to go to grow. So kudos to the Badminton Federation of Nigeria. Hopefully, by the time we're talking about it next, they will be winning laurels, lots of laurels across the match, across different international tournaments.
Absolutely. And with that, let's come down to the king of football.
Before we do that as well, we hear that the Nigerian Beach Soccer League second round is about to take place from the 15th to 18th, 2024. So the countdown begins 14 days to that one. It will take place in Nnewi. We hear that the teams and officials are expected to arrive in Nnewi as early as May the 12th, a day before the Beach Soccer Clinic will come up ahead of the kickoff. So what it means is that the 6 teams that participated will arrive. There will be clinics, there will be courses to teach. This is what we're talking about. Look, we talk about badminton to get them up to speed with the rules and regulation of the game. And then by May 15, Nnewi and Anambra State will be lit up with beach soccer. And I tell you, you cannot get it. 14, we hear that teams will observe the official training. They will get used to the pitch. Wow. Finally, we can see beach soccer getting to the eastern part of Nigeria, and all we can do is celebrate it. We hear teams like Kebbi State, Kebbi Fisher BC, Kada Beach Soccer Club, Anambra Beach Soccer Club, all these teams that participated in the first leg that took place in Kebbi State will be in Nnewi. They will find out the team that will make it to the Super 4 that will be played in Kaduna State.
All right, and from Nnewi we move over to Aba, where we hear that the rumble has just begun between Aimba FC and the entire board of the Nigerian Premier Football League. How I love fights like this, and I will tell you why. All right, we hear that top side over the Nigerian Premier Football League, Aimba. We hear that the management of the league defending champions, that is Aimba FC, they have accused the Nigerian Football Federation of being biased in docking the team 2 points in the match played against Doma United. The NFF Disciplinary Committee has ruled that Aimba be docked of the 2 points, and the result remained as it was before the incident that led to the referee going over to watch the replay from a Star Times Obi van at the stadium. Aimba, in its reaction, accused the NPFL board of trying to manipulate Aimba's result to favor some teams for intercontinental slot. They say the Aimba will have no option than to boycott the league and withdraw their membership of the MPFL. We hear that it's all about Aimba's decision, saying it is bad for the league.
I think it's bad publicity for the MPFL.
True.
Where you see the league and the club go head to head. But you know what I said in the morning, I still stand by it. I think the clubs should be able to vie the results of decisions made by the board, the MPFL board, and of course the disciplinary committee of the NFF, via with the rules and regulation, the codes of the MPFL, the framework of the league. Come on, man. We all know that there's no place in the world where you would allow referees go check out what's going on, on the pitch from an OB van. See, if there's no VR, there's no VAR. It's as simple as that. The referee has the sole right to make a decision and stand by it. And they are assisted by his assistant referees. That's how far he can go, But I think the referee took it too far by going to the OB van.
Okay.
We heard that the referee was called upon to give his own side of the story. He said it was circulated by Imba officials and hoodlums that forced his hand to give that to go to the OB van and give the goal. We're not arguing about whether it was the right decision to give the goal or not. My problem is that there is no rule in the world that says you go to the OB van. It's not no. So the FF are saying okay. We have decided to chunk that goal away and leave the game as it was before they went to the OB van. Aimba crying blue blood and saying, no, you're docking us 2 points. It's going to affect our stay on the table.
True.
And you'll be assisting some teams who are also vying for continental places. So it's you said, he said. It's going to be a back and forth. But I think the NFF have got, based on the statute, because they quoted some statute on why they made that decision. Aimba said, no, why take you so long a time? It's putting the integrity of the league in jeopardy. So it is what it is. But I think... at the end of the day, I think both parties will find a compromise. But at the end of the day, I think NFF were condemned to make that decision because nowhere in the world do referee go to the OB van.
As much as Aimba have a point to prove, the MPFL also have the sole right to call the shots.
Absolutely.
But then we have seen situations whereby the NPFL as well as their board, they have been accused on record having double standards. Sport Bishop, I will take you to the disciplinary committee that was held sometimes on the 8th of July 2022 at Parkview Estate, who says Zone 1 Abuja. There was a game between Canopilas and Dakada International where hoodlums, fans broke into the stadium, assaulted some referees, assaulted matchday officials, and then it disrupted the flow of the game as well as the final results and what have you. And then we saw the MPFL took that decision. The referees that made some questionable calls were punished. They were suspended for a year. And we also saw the home fans, which is of course the Caterpillars, they were also punished, but their points were not docked. Their points were not docked. The referees were punished. The team were punished. The fans, they were able to get, some of them, though not all, they were also punished. Banned. You do not have the right to come see any live game ever again. And also the decisions of the MPFL says that the match officials, particularly the match commissioner, match referee, and the assistant referee, one, we are suspended from 1 year from all football-related activities. Come down to the game between Aimba and Doma United. Was the referee sanctioned? No. Was the assistant referee suspended, banned, or fined? No. What about the match commissioner who gave a report after the game? What happened to them? I'm coming, Sport Bishop. Just a minute. And this was what Aimba was banking on and said, look, we have...
We don't dock our points.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's go from this point of view. If you listen to the statement, I got the full statement of the NFF and I read it very well.
Okay.
And the NFF was practically saying this, that the commissioner did not stamp his authority down. They may have not pointed out the punishment for the commissioner outrightly, but they are come out clear to say that the commissioner has failed in his duties to ensure that there was smooth running of the game. That's not about the match commissioner.
Okay.
The man had no right, I repeat, to allow the referee walk out of that pitch.
To go view anything.
If he was coerced by hoodlums, like they said, he could have stopped that game abruptly.
Absolutely.
And
there was no evidence that they were hoodlums or match officials
like
there.
I said, it's not you said, I said, she said. The only fact that we can gather if there was video footages, it was a live game showed on TV. So
it was.
Officially, StarTimes should have some visuals. Have the NFF brought those visuals as proof and evidence that this man was coerced to make that decision to go to the OB van? Like I said, a lot of back and forth. I quite agree with you where everybody is saying, there have been issues where they have ended up punishing the teams, punishing the officials, but letting the points go. Why is it Aimba's turn that these points were docked? Knowing fully that this is the business end of the league where teams are vying for continental places. That is their own cry. But I can tell you, we can only stay here and presume and play the assumption card. But the NFF have made the decision and they know why they decided to make this decision.
Somebody said Aimba should take this decision to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. And the only way NFF can win in cast is if the judges are NFF officials, because trust me, Aimba have the upper hand in this game, but it is for them to prove.
That's
for them to prove their points.
Beyond reason, the law will tell you beyond reasonable doubt. I'm still on the fence here. They haven't even gotten me on their bandwagon yet.
Okay.
So it have to prove beyond reasonable doubt. But like I said, the NFL played smart. If they had let this go, it would have been a dent on the league. How do a referee walk out, go check the OB VAR?
My stand is punish the referee.
And let the points go.
Punish the assistant referee. Punish the match commissioner. And allow Aimba and the game.
If they had made a mistake, punish them as well.
Come on. Aimba scored a goal. It is for the ref to call the shot. All right, so let's take our searchlight away from Aimba, from NPFL, and the back and forth, and let's touch down to the most enviable job in African sport. And I tell you for a fact that is the job of the Super Eagles coach. NFF have unveiled Finidi George as the coach of the Super Eagles. They have warned him, they have threatened him, they have told him and said, Mr. Finidi George, the 2026 World Cup qualifiers against South Africa and Benin Republic. It is a must-win matches.
Absolutely.
You must win those matches. Even though we are told that NFF have told Coach Finidi George that he has the right to pick his assistant coaches.
Absolutely.
But then, don't you think that the pressure? We just have few days to prepare for this game. This man was unveiled yesterday, and they are not giving him ultimatum. And somebody said this was not the kind of ultimatum he gave to the foreign coach.
Come on, man. Let's be realistic. I think John wants this job. He's got this job. And like I used to say, this is the most pressured job in world football.
Absolutely.
You got the fans on your neck, got the NFF on your neck, you got the government on your neck. You want Nigeria wants soccer, even in friendly games. There is no time for practice matches. So it tells you how the kind of pressure he is. He's got 2 quick games and the World Cup qualifier. Must win after Nigeria played 2 draws in the first 2 earlier games against South Africa. So it's a must win. He must start getting the results. Like you did say, he'll be allowed to pick his assistant coaches. We talked about that earlier on in the sport bits in the morning. We talked about NCM, Daniel Mokachi, and of course Emmanuel Amuni K. We decided who he feels like will be right for him to work on. Maybe even if the person he wants to work with is not in any of those 3, he could decide as well. The referee said it is prerequisite to pick his coaches. Good one. I think that's the right way to go for Finidi George. And for any manager, you allow him to pick a partner he feels he can work hand in hand with. So good one for him. But now we hear, this is the big story now, that there could be home-based players starting camp before the foreign-based players comes. Don't forget, we talked about Victor Ipeba, who said that one of the big reasons why he was given the job, because one is a coach of Aimba, he understands the league, he plays in the league, we were given an opportunity to pick players from the league, and now we're hearing that home-based players will open camp. That we're hearing with Finidi George, before as they prepare the start for that game against South Africa and Benin, before the arrival of the invited foreign-based players. I don't know whether this is the right way to go, because I wouldn't want you to have 26 home-based players in camp and only maybe 1 or 2 mixed at the end of the day. So are we saying that we're going to have a chunk, maybe 5 or 6 players from the home base to metamorphose or to have
consolidate with the foreign,
have a bromance with the foreign-based players? But I think the news we're getting is good. We know we've been clamoring for our home-based players to play in the league, but I keep asking one question: are they good enough? Because the Super Eagles, again, I repeat, is not a learning curve. It is where the best players in Nigeria, whether home or abroad, gather to play for the national team. It's probably the best players. There's no let's try and error with the Super Eagles. So wait and see. We hear home-based players will come. We hear he'll pick his assistant coach. We hear that there's pressure for him to pick the ticket. It's a must from the NFF. I think he can. It's doable. He can pick the ticket with the quality of players we've got at our disposal. But the big question is, how quickly can they, shape up the kind of football he wants to play? Knowing we played some kind of negative football in that percent when we got to the finals of the AFCON earlier this year.
We want to get your thoughts on these. Do you think that the NFF are pressurizing Coach Finidi George early enough, or it is just what he needs to do? We need to win those games. We have drawn our first 2 games in the World Cup qualifiers, and we do not have any luxury to lose any further points. If that is your thought, come on, let us know on 070 070 Come on, let's know what you think also about the game that will be going down later tonight in the UEFA Champions League. Kylian Mbappé ready to bring down the yellow walls in Germany. Do you think that this is the final bust up for Luis Enrique's side, or you think that Kylian Mbappe's and Paris Saint-Germain will find your way over, topple, destroy, annihilate Borussia Dortmund? Let's know your thought. Once again, the number is 070
You can also drop us a WhatsApp message, send us an SMS, a WhatsApp voice note as well. Give us a WhatsApp call or call that same number. Either way, whether it's a message, whether it's a WhatsApp message with a WhatsApp voice note, we here at Voice of the People, our job is to give you a voice. The number again is 0700 010 961 961.
All right, so let's keep you up to speed with some games that is currently ongoing in the Federation Cup. It is 2 minutes in this one. FC1 Rocket against a Boruja FC. That game is still goalless, and we hear that the game between other matches, the likes of let's get you up to speed quickly. We hear that a goal has been scored. Wow, just why we are giving you the updates. Mendoza Rixina opened the goal scoring for FC1 Rocket against a Boruja. So FC1 Rocket leads that one. It's 1-0 in favor of FC1 Rocket. I can tell it is full time. Nasarawa United defeated FC Bako. Goal scored in the first half by Tendo Shimangande. He scored that goal in the 12th minute. So Nasarawa United have booked their place in the round of 32.
Yeah.
We also hear that it is goalless between Ikorodu City and Green Beret. That game is just 25 minutes old and no goals have been scored. Keeper giving you update. It is halftime. Shooting Stars and Solution FC. That game is goalless. No goal have been scored in that one just yet. So let's see how it goes. As the goals are coming, sales are also coming. We will let you know. I think we have a call now. All right, let's see if we can take this caller. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the show.
Hello? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's the name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Prince from Kaduna State.
Prince
from Kaduna
all the
State.
way from Kaduna State. Prince, has been a while. Good to have you back. Where have you been,
Yes,
Prince?
have you been, Prince?
I'm very fine, sir.
Prince, you just forgot about us. Come on now.
Prince, go ahead, talk to
How
us.
is the work? How is the work?
If
Work is
if
fine.
you're enjoying the show, then the work is going well. Absolutely.
Okay. Talking about Augustine the judge and the job.
Yeah.
Augustine the judge, I know he's the coach of Emin Baba.
Yeah, exactly.
Which club Emin Baba for the local league now?
Yeah, second on the log.
Table, yeah, as we speak.
So they're there for the second and the third.
Second position,
on the
second.
table.
Behind Enugu Rangers.
Okay. And Rivers United never finished their match.
No, Rivers United have not finished their game. Yeah.
And maybe before that, Rivers United go play the 4 games waiting for their hand, then start to play 4.
Don't forget, Rivers United lost to Elsa United at the weekend 2-1. So it's not Uhuru that they win all their games.
How many games? Not the 5.
No, it's
Four.
4 more games.
4
now.
games to go.
They played 1, so 4 games to go. Yeah.
Okay, it's not up to 15 points, huh?
Yeah, it's not up to 15 points.
But even if they did not win all, at least if they win like 3, they will go more than by 20.
Mr. Prince, let's take it one game at a time. One game at a time.
So what I want to say, I know the person say they know make the right choice, sir.
Okay.
But for my own, not be the question where they're supposed to tonight they fix.
Okay.
And talking about putting our local players to the Super Eagles.
Yeah.
How many of them how many of them will you put there and they will struggle that they want to get something?
Big
See,
question.
our local, they are not that reliable. You
Okay.
cannot depend on them.
Okay.
You will not compare them with people that is staying from for Europe, all these countries, all these foreign countries. You compare them with people that is staying with that plays locally.
Okay.
So what I want to say, giving him the ultimatum of winning World Cup, that is not the issue. Let him first qualify us for the 2025 Nations Cup that is coming before we start talking about the one that will be coming on 2026.
Okay.
So that is what I want to say. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for that one. Okay. Keep the calls coming in, guys. I want to hear from you. Very important. There's no show without you guys. That's the important thing. The reason why we're here every day of the week is because we want to have to hear from you. So have your 2 cents. You want to talk about Finidi Judge, the issue around it. You want to talk about the Federation Cup. You want to have your son, the Aimba issue, which has been on the border for over 24 hours. Aimba reacting today as well on that issue after they were docked 2 points. They now sit second on the table behind Enugu Rangers with 55 points. That point would have helped them to 57 points. So
Absolutely.
absolutely. So wait and see what's going on with the league and let you know. But talk to us, guys. 0700 010 961 961. Before we leave the local scene, we hear that one guy has officially signed for Brentford. He is no other than Benjamin Frederick, former under 20 international. He has signed a deal until 2028. He plays for Simon Bell FC, a team owned by Simon Moses. And of course, finally, talking about the AFCON, we hear the AFCON for 2025 could be shifted again to January. We'll get some time to talk about that again. What's happening with our own calendar? Do we really have a calendar in Africa? It could be shifted as to January 2026 because of the Club World Cup. We hear that the CAF is struggling to fix a date for this summer.
And with that, we touch down at the camp of Zambia women's football before we go on our first official commercial break. We hear that Zambia's women could miss out on playing at the summer's Olympics after FIFA threatened the country's football association with suspension amidst accusation of money laundering offenses against its president, Andrew Kamanga. FIFA considers this action as undue influence by a third party. The same thing we talked about Cameroon, that FIFA have threatened them that the rest of their qualifiers for the World Cup they might not play. And now we hear that Zambia might be hoisted out of the Olympics.
After qualification.
All right, so let's take this call. Hello, good evening and welcome to the show. 1 minute.
Yeah, good evening. It's calling back. I want to ask you something, please. No,
go ahead, please.
Where is Ifanuba?
Ifanuba FC. We don't know where they are. We don't know where they are.
And for now, they are still trying to qualify for the NPFL, but for a while now, they have disbanded that club. Chief of Ifanuba do not have the football team together again, courtesy of what the NPFL did.
Oh, okay. Where are they now? Are they still in...
Don't worry, we'll get you more about it, but for now we know they are not in the MPFL. They've been having some issues since that issue they had with them, the NFF earlier last 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, if Prince, I will keep you updated with that one. And from there, we go on our first official commercial break. When we return, we will tell you what Tuchel said to Kim Min-jae, that is bringing rancor in the dressing room of Bayern Munich. And of course, we hear that Jude Bellingham have swore. Stay. We'll be right back. Bayern Munich in trouble in Santiago Bernabeu. It is still Sport Lounge reaching you live from the studio of a Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja. Welcome to the second half of the show. Sport Lounge comes your ways every Mondays to Fridays at exactly 4 p.m. The sport crew of VOP 96.1 FM Abuja takes you round the world of sport and drive you home in grand style. Permit us to ask, how is your holidays going? These are the Workers' Day celebrations edition, and of course you know it, we do not go on holidays simply because of you. We always come to work just for you to have fun. And in case you do not know, this is the first day in the month of May.
So it's a happy new month edition. It's a happy Workers' Day edition. It is a happy you edition.
And a happy Q edition.
And of course the Champions League edition as well.
My name still remains Franklin Imana, the sport fine boy, the sport chef, and I've got with me
the sport bishop, the magistrate, the pilot, the prophet, the professor, none so Arins H.A.
Alright, let's continue on the show, but this time let's move over now to the foreign scene. One man is saying that Borussia Dortmund is built to win the Champions League.
Absolutely. And it seems like it is the Paris Saint-Germain season. All these and more when we come back.
Alright. Alright, welcome to the foreign scene. But where else should we start from? If not the one that went down yesterday, the gathering of men and not boys. If you are a Chelsea fan, if you are a Man United fan, please, your two hands on your ears, because this is not for you. It was South Korea Kim Min-jae that was the culprit when Vinicius Jr. raised to the first goal, owing by that defense splitting pass from Toni Kroos, and Thomas Tuchel has come to blame the defender that it was lackluster, it was flat-footed, he was completely distracted, and that did not also help the young man during the prep talk after the first half, as he bundled Brazil's forward Rodrigo for the equalizer that a certain Vinicius Jr. had to bury in the second half.
According to the coach, he said the young man was greedy. It was Tuchel and his adjectives, but it is what it is. I think Son Heung-min was one of the worst performer on the night. I think two of the goals were practically he was soaked in by Vinicius for the first goal, and the second goal he hacked down Rodrigo for the penalty that Vinicius did score. So not the best of performers. Does not take the fact that he's their best defender in that team. But these things happen, and sometimes you have an off day, bad day, but Tuchel shouldn't have rubbed it on his face. It's a team game. If the team had scored 3 goals, they would have won. So as much as the player had a bad game, but it's about the team. The positives, you should have dealt on the positive, because they have a great game on Santiago Bernabeu, where they will be facing 14-time champions Real Madrid. So to take a 2-2 draw and not be trailing anything at the counter is a lifeline.
Absolutely.
And Tuchel will be always trying to be the boss, but it's good to be the boss. But at least the first thing as a coach is delve on the positives. You have played Real Madrid in your own house. Apart from those 2 mistakes, you were the better side on the day.
True.
You could have scored more, and on the first 15-16 minutes, you should have they had like 4 or 5 shots on target. Leroy Sané, the couple of minutes on those chances, but he didn't call out the young man. Don't forget, it was for the same Leroy Sané, he let Sadio Mane leave.
Absolutely.
So I don't know why he's picking and pointing at the issues, but at the end of the day, it's a great team performance. and not about an individual.
As Sport Bishop, let's look at the game individually and exclusively yesterday. We saw a Real Madrid without a typical number 9.
Okay.
The front three was fluid. The front three of Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham, and Rodrigo. And these three guys, we are just changing their position, swapping wigs. They were absolutely mobile.
Yeah.
And that couldn't help the likes of Kim Min-jae to keep track on Vinicius Jr. because one defender cannot not stop Vinicius Junior. If you ask me, I would tell you go ask a certain Araujo of Barcelona, go ask a certain Kyle Walker of Manchester City, go ask.
Getting frustrated, but unfortunately they didn't get the script.
Plant 2 players at least to hack him down.
A player can mark out Vinicius Junior. I think Vinicius just strengthens his speed. And unfortunately, the defenders in Bayern Munich are not the fastest of players. You get look at what happened when he played against Kyle Walker. He was nullified. It's as simple as that.
You sure?
Yeah, exactly. Kyle Walker had a fantastic game against him. Only one occasion, Vinicius had the better of him, but
and that result, you know what happened.
Exactly. But at the end of the day,
it was the overall play.
Exactly. That's what I think Tuchel should be focusing on. How did my team play against Real Madrid? Did they push us to the wall where we outplayed, where we outclassed? No. Looking
at the midfielder, where a certain Thomas Mola started that game, the most experienced, just behind a certain Manuel Neuer. Absolutely. He was dictating play in the middle of the field, and I didn't see the likes of Toni Kroos, except for that that assist he gave. Bayern Munich absolutely controlled that game. The front three of Hurricane at one point was not in the box. He had to move out from the defenders and get the ball for himself. Played alongside with the midfield, and it was a total fluid game from Bayern Munich. Yeah. But Real Madrid, we know them, the most dangerous team without the ball. Exactly. When it comes to positioning, when it comes to hacking you and going on the counter.
Did you see that pass from Toni Kroos? Defense
it was heavily.
Absolutely nothing. The turn. The visual soaked in
the vision.
Son, you mean? And the pass, the right precision, the right weight. I think the only negative for Bayern Munich is that Neuer should have rushed out. We all know him as a sweeper keeper. If he had moved the step forward, he would have cleared that. But
he just catch it up.
All his lord that ends well. He also had a great game on that night. So a good pass from Kroos, a beautiful finish. But Kroos have to go to some specific players. I will start with Harry Kane. For the 3 goals for 3 games for Bayern Munich. Top goal scorer, joint top scorer with Kylian Mbappé in the Champions League with 8 goals. The boy is scoring goals with reckless abandon. This is his highest scoring season after what he did with Tottenham when he scored 41 in 2017-2018 season. But still waiting for that first silverware. Could this be the silverware he's waiting for? How could you start your
Bayern Munich career?
Your win with the Champions League, your first medal trophy, being a champ, something that has eluded some of the greatest players in the world, the likes of Ronaldo de Lima, you know. So it could be this trophy, but good one for Harry Kane. Beautiful goal he scored in that encounter, and also good one as well for Vinicius Junior. Brace. Fantastic performance on the night. He was the best player on the pitch of play.
Lucas Vazquez also had a good game, but he will not be in the starting 11 in the return leg. A certain Dani Carvajal will be returning. Back, I remember that he was suspended.
Yeah, but that yellow card he picked up against Manchester City.
Absolutely. So we will be seeing a natural defense lineup for a certain Real Madrid, and then you know what it will be at the Santiago Bernabeu. The voice we hear that the stadium is officially covered. So we will see everywhere painted in white.
I didn't see much of Jude Bellingham on the match yesterday.
No, he wasn't, because a certain Tchouaméni had a fantastic game. The voodoo continues.
Tchouaméni had a fantastic game, but Jude Bellingham, we all know him for being that he kind of had that kind of Frank Lampard movement. The late one in the box. I don't think he dictated the pace yesterday.
Blame that on Leon Goretzka.
Come on, man.
He man-marked him.
Come on, man. Goretzka only played for 45 minutes. He was changed, brought in Rafa Guerreiro, who also had a fantastic game when he came in from the second half of the game.
So it took 2 players to hold on to Bellingham on both halves.
Game in the big game. We saw against Manchester City. It wasn't the best of game. And again, he seems to struggle. There's been a lot of arguments on Jamal Musiala and Jude Bellingham, who's the better big game player, you know. Musiala has proved that beyond reasonable doubt. Bellingham has had his own stint, but I think a lot of questions will be answered when they meet at Santiago Bernabeu.
He only shines when it is the El Clasico.
Mr. Clasico he is anyway. Don't forget, you can be part of the show, guys. And let's hear from you. You can send us a voice note, an SMS, a WhatsApp message, or WhatsApp call, or call us. I want to hear from you. Your take on the Champions League game that went yesterday night at 0700 010 961 961. How happy were you with the performance of both teams, and do you think there's a chance for Bayern Munich when they head to the Santiago? We know it was too good, and his blame game continues. Son, you mean the scapegoat, guys? Is there a chance for Bayern Munich at the Santiago Bernabeu? So talk to us. 0700 010 961 961.
Paris Saint-Germain have built to win the Champions League, according to Dortmund boss Edin Terzic.
Yeah.
The two teams will meet in the first leg of the semi-finals today, with the league on champion PSG bidding to win the competition for the first time.
Yeah.
The French side, who defeated Barcelona in the quarterfinals, lost to Bayern Munich in the 2020 finals. And we hear that the project in Paris began with the goal of winning the Champions League, according to Terzic. Sport Bishop, is this a mind game, or we are finally seeing the Paris Saint-Germain that will win the Champions League?
It depends on what you call a mind game, or it depends on what you call it. You see, to be sincere with you, the only edge that Dortmund has got over Paris Saint-Germain in this encounter is the fact that they are former champions. They won it in 1997. They had a fifth in the Bundesliga to win the title. But apart from that, I think with the quality of coach they've got, the quality of players they've got, top scorer in the competition, Kylian Mbappé, on the books of Paris Saint-Germain, at least for one more season, it's advantage Paris Saint-Germain in this encounter. I love the fact that Tadic is giving PSG all the respect, but I tell you, when kickoff time, 8 p.m. tonight, that respect will be thrown under the gutters, and it will be a battle for the biggest one. So I'm quite happy. But don't forget, both of them met earlier in the group stages of this competition, where Kylian Mbappé were well marshaled in that encounter. So we'll wait and see. There are a lot of permutations to look out for in this game. It's certain Mathieu Mels, who's well experienced. Rami Besbeni as well. We hear Sebastian Haller is out. He's got an ankle injury. So, but Hummels is back. Besbeni, Haller out. You know, Haller is a big blow for Dortmund. Knowing where he was part of the guys who caused the comeback against Atletico Madrid
with that goal
at the Civitas Metropolitano. So, lots of games to look out for, guys. A lot of football. I think it comes down to who wants it more. Paris Saint-Germain on paper as favourites. I agree with Terzic in that his opinion. Like I said, they know each other. Even in this campaign, they've met in the group stages, and so
it was a 1-1 draw when they went to Borussia Dortmund, and when they played at the Parc des Princes, it was a 2-0 win for Paris Saint-Germain.
So they meet for the third time this season. It tells you that they know each other.
So they will meet 4 times.
Yeah, this year
in the group stage.
And the good thing is that group stages. You see, forget about what happened in the group stages. This is the knockout stages. It comes down to who wants on the night. It's a battle. They say it's a battle of Kylian Mbappé and certain Jordan Sancho. Be sincere with you, Paris Saint-Germain have got the better players on paper. But Dortmund has got the players who has got quality and who has understand the experience of playing the Champions League at this level. Mathieu Mels, Jordan Sancho, Marco Reus. You know, if you look at the midfield, you've got Julian Brast.
Of course.
They've got players, Marcel Sabitzer.
Not forgetting Full Krug, that's their go-to source striker.
Exactly. So they understand playing in this level. But with Mbappé, they say they've got an edge. That guy is an absolute beast. Go ask Barcelona. He was not in the game. Bang, bang. 2 goals, and Paris Saint-Germain are in the semi-finals of the Champions.
One man I will be looking out for personally for Paris Saint-Germain will be Vitinho. Vitinha is one man that is a complete midfielder. That guy has been neglected, has been overlooked. I do not know why, but that guy, my God, he knows how to play football, and that boy can score.
He's a blessing to football. I think it's a steal. I think the new Paris Saint-Germain after Kylian Mbappé will leave will be built on that guy. I think Luis Enrique is building something, a crop of young players. Not really the Galacticos, but players who could become great players in future. Look at Ugarte. You have Vitinho. Look at the Donnarumma in goal for them. You've got Marco Asensio, who had a great game against Barcelona. So they've got a core of the team that have played good football there. Come on, guys. If you're neutral, this is a game you should just sit back and enjoy. Get a glass of juice, a cup of coffee, something.
Whatever you get.
Absolutely. Just sit back and enjoy the best of football.
All right, before we go to the transfer market and touch down some of the biggest stories heating up in the transfer market, let's stick with German football as we hear that negotiation between Bayern Munich and Australian boss Ralf Rangnick ongoing over him becoming their new manager. Rangnick, who is 65 years, confirmed last week he had been contacted about the job by the Bundesliga's club, but Bayern wants Rangnick to replace current manager Thomas Tuchel, who would leave at the end of the season. It seems that Rangnick pattern of football, the Gengen pressing, the mechanical football is what Bayern Munich are actually looking for, because the likes of Xavi Alonso said, I'm not going there. The likes of other coaches have turned down, and not forgetting Hansi Flick also said, I will remain with the German national team rather than coming back to coach Bayern Munich. So do you see Ralf Rangnick as the best man for the job?
He's the best available man for the
Oh,
job.
I love that word, available.
With what I saw at Man United, come on, man. Anyway, they say he's how they put it now, the godfather of German football. So they must believe that he will bring back the German culture, the German belief, the style of play, everything different from what Tuchel has brought to the team, and that's why they believe in his abilities. Every German coach seems to speak highly of the man. So maybe he could leave the Austria job, who I think is doing so well in that job, and move to Germany. But we'll wait and see. Is it a man? Time will tell. But the Germans and the German press seem to be excited with the prospect of him coming to return back to German football and could Bayern Munich.
All right, away from that, let's touch down at the world of transfer market. Quickly, Spot Bishop, I think you have something for us concerning Man United and Rashford and PSG.
Okay, guys, there is a big story coming all the way from Rashford, guys. That I must tell you, big one it is, because here Man United, I'm not expecting to meet, I'm not expecting any club to meet their £70 million valuation for the England forward. We hear
just the play.
£70 million. That's quite huge. I hear
so
you.
Cheap.
For the 20.
So cheap.
For a 26-year-old.
So cheap.
Wow.
If it's Man United now, you will hear 80-something, 90-something million. How much did they get a certain Jadon Sancho, Anthony, Paul Pogba?
Yeah, we heard that a certain Paris Saint-Germain have cooled their interest for his signature. They pursue that target, and Rashford has told Man United that he does not want to leave his focus on finding his form. Is there a form somewhere for Rashford to find?
Somewhere, but we do not know where it is. We keep looking for it.
Anyway, that's it. To add this into the United case, we hear that Ten Hag does not even know if he will be in charge of Man United come the start of next season. His future is under serious scrutiny.
Serious scrutiny, we must tell about one thing we will tell you is that Arsenal has offered Italy midfielder Jorginho, whose current deal expires in June, a new contract, and the 32-year-old is expected to sign it. Won't he sign it before?
He has no choice, man. He's playing a great football. He's having game time at this age. I know Thomas Partey is back. He's looking at by his shoulder. Would I get more game time with Thomas Partey and the way Thomas Partey is playing at the moment? But come on. I think he's been a good servant of the club, and for everything good that's happened at Arsenal, I think Jorginho has played his part as well.
All right, quickly, we hear that Chelsea and England forward Raheem Sterling, who is 29 years old, has not had any contact with the Saudi Pro League club about a summer transfer. However, the Blues would be willing to sell on loan Belgian striker Romelu Lukaku, who is 30 years to them.
Why are they willing to sell Lukaku when they don't have a striker?
No, they want to loan him.
No, they want to sell on loan.
Okay, willing to sell. Oh,
he's on loan right now. Roma is scoring goals with reckless abandon. Roma are doing well in the Europa League. This guy is scoring goals for fun. You don't have a striker. You have a Nicholas Jackson who's firing blanks.
If he comes back to Chelsea, his form will go deeper. Deeper.
What's wrong with strikers and Chelsea?
Only DJ Drogba can answer that. And finally, we hear that Portugal midfielder Bruno Fernandes, who is 29 years old, has hinted he will consider his future at Man United after the Euros 2024. But for now, he's focused on the FA Cup final and the tournament in Germany this summer. Away from the transfer markets, let's touch down the NBA. And in the NBA, Spot Bishop, any update for us?
Absolutely. We know that Tyrese Maxey has scored 46 goals for the Philadelphia 76ers as they stunned the New York Knicks 112 to 106 in overtime to keep their Eastern Conference hopes alive. That's what we hear. Elsewhere, we hear that injury hit Milwaukee Bucks triumphed in their must-win tie with the Indiana Pacers winning 115 to 92. The Bucks were trailing 3-1, and they were missing injured stars like Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard. Okay, other games played in the Eastern Conference. Donovan Mitchell hung 28 points, including 14 in the fourth quarter, as Cleveland Cavaliers edged Orlando Magic 104 to 103 to take the lead 3-2. The Magic fought back from 2-0 down to level the series after recording an emphatic win in Game 3 and Game 4. That's what we heard. So, for guys who love the NBA, these are the games you need to look out for. Before we go, the full result of our games yesterday, you have the Knicks 106 to 112 after overtime. The Knicks lead 3-2. The Cleveland Cavaliers 104 to 103 just by a point. They lead 3-2 as well against Orlando Magic. The Bucks got a 115-92 win over the Pacers. Now the Pacers still lead 3-2, while the Celtics will take on the Heat today. The Boston Celtics lead 3-1. The Clippers will take on the Mavericks. The series are tied 2-2. And of course, we also know that the Pacers will take on the Bucks. We hear the Pacers are leading 3-2. That game is for tomorrow, exactly 11:30. So guys, finally we now know some teams are through, like likes of the Nuggets, they are through. The Oklahoma City Thunder are through. We're waiting to see those who will meet them up in the semifinals of the playoffs, both at the Western and the Eastern Conference.
All right, and finally on the show, we wrap up from the world of tennis. As we hear that Rafael Nadal says it has been a very emotional week after he made his last ever appearance at the Madrid Open. The former world number one, five-time champion of the Spanish capital, waved an emotional farewell to the tournament after losing in straight set to JV Lehechka. The 37-year-old had indicated his plans to retire after the 2024 season. Guess what? He lost a 7-5, 6-4. Spot Bishop. Finally, he buys
out from the Madrid Open, but he's got a chance. He's still got 3 more Grand Slam this year. We had the French Open is upcoming. He missed last year due to injury. Hopefully, he plays this one. Maybe 1 or 2 Grand Slam before he bows out. But we know, according to him, that he'll be bowing out at the end of the 2024 season. And before we go, we hear that 8 English Football League team in the Championship, 16 non-league football team have joined forces to urge the government to reinstate the FA Cup replays. We heard last week, we talked about that the replays have been chunked off. This smaller club are saying, no, they've gone to the government now. They can't get the FA anymore. They've got to the government to force the hand of the FA. They say they want the replay, at least for their financial life.
We'll continue to track that result because it seems that the big boys want to hijack everything so that their players won't be traveling back and forth to save themselves.
The joy of the FA Cup is the fact that they travel long distance to play football.
We will travel a shorter distance when we touch down at Brighton Hurley God winning 8:30 a.m. on the show. Sport Beats, keep a date with us, and a Sport Lounge returns at 4 p.m. tomorrow on a much more bigger scales. Until then, keep listening to Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja. On behalf of the Sport Bishop and I, we want to say we are done.
And we are gone.
God bless.
No stress.
Adios.
Bye for now.
Have a fantastic holiday evening.
Join me from now to 8 p.m.